Hello, welcome to our first video lesson. Thanks to those of you that have already come to all classes and have learned the first, the majority of this unit already. If you haven't, make sure you go back over the notes, make sure that you are good at sort of solving parabolas. Are you good at graphing them? Can you evaluate them? Can you find their characteristics? You need that to be able to do the word problems. So don't start with this unit. If you haven't done this other stuff yet, go back and do it. All right, make sure the homework is done. Make sure you've done some of the reviews that are posted. Be really comfortable with a quadratic. What does it mean? What's the vertex? What are the x-intercepts? That kind of thing. Because when it says modeling, that means we're going to take these word problems and change them into quadratic equations so that we can figure out some of the characteristics. So let's look at the first one. And by the way, there's usually 2 of these on a test, so you do need to be able to do them. Okay, this is one area where this kind of thing continues on in math, solving problems using an equation. Okay, so it says 2 numbers have a difference of 18. So let's start by identifying my 2 numbers. Let's let x be the first number, and then I need to figure out how to represent the second number. And I know you're thinking we should just make it y, but y is going to be what the equation equals. The equation, and you'll see what that is in a second. So what am I going to do for that second number? Well, it tells me 2 numbers have a difference of 18. All right, so if I subtract 2 numbers, I get 18. I've already said one of them is x. So it doesn't matter where you put it, but let's put x here. So some number, take away x, equals 18. So what's this number equal? Well, I can solve for that number by adding x to both sides. That's going to eliminate this, and now I get this number, whatever it is equal to 18 plus x. That's what I'm going to use for my second number. Okay, this is a common theme where it tells you how 2 numbers are related, and you have to use this information to represent our 2 numbers. Okay, now we'll have a chance to practice some more of that, but you definitely have to be able to do that. Okay? Does this product have a maximum or a minimum? So in other words, is it a parabola that opens down or up? Determine this value and the 2 numbers. So let's write this as an equation. It says their product. So take the 2 numbers, x times 18 plus x, and let's write the quadratic. If I multiply, I get 18x plus x squared, and I would prefer to rearrange that to x squared plus 18x. This is a quadratic. It is a parabola. It's a positive parabola, so I know it's opening up. So this question here, it has a minimum value. Determine this value, in other words, what is the minimum, and what the 2 numbers are. Now, if you look at a parabola, where does the minimum occur? It occurs at the vertex. So what this question is asking is, what is the vertex? That vertex will have an x value, which is one of our numbers, and it'll have a y value, which is the product. All right, so that's usually the way this works. You write an equation, find the vertex. Okay, well, how do you find the vertex? Easiest way is negative b over 2a, and then we'll figure out what y is. So the vertex is going to be negative b, so that's negative 18, over 2 times 1, and that is going to be, let's say, negative 18 divided by 2, negative 9. Okay, and now how do I find the y value? I plug the negative 9 into the equation, so you're going to get negative 9 squared plus 18 times negative 9, and that's going to be 81 minus 172, so this is negative 81. So, what have we found out? The numbers? What are the 2 numbers? Okay, the number is, well, the x is -9. All right, and if we put, so we're saying this is -9. If we put -9 here, you get 18 plus -9. The other number is 9. And the second number is 9. The minimum product, so the smallest product, we'll say the minimum product is -81. Okay, so skip ahead a little bit. Let's go do another one like that, because I think there's another one here. Here we go. Same question. Take a second to try that. So pause the video. All right. So we're going to start off by saying let x be, find two positive numbers. So let x be the first number. All right, what is the second number? Well, it says their sum is 25. So two numbers added together equal 25. We've said one of them is x. So what's this other one? Well, hopefully you can see that if I take that x over there, the second one is 25 minus x. There's our two numbers. All right, then it says it has a product. So y is x times 25 minus x. So this is y equals, and if I multiply the x in, I get -x squared plus 25x. You can see this one's a little different. This one is a parabola that opens down because it has a negative lead coefficient. All right, and we're supposed to find what is this maximum. In other words, what is the vertex? Okay, so let's do that. The vertex, -b over 2a, so -25 over 2 times -1. What does this equal? -25 over -2. Well, you can leave it as 25 over 2. So the vertex is 25 over 2. And then if I want to find out what the y value is, I'm going to plug that in. Now that's going to be a little bit ugly, so maybe this is a calculator question. But if we didn't have a calculator, we would do this. So 25 over 2 squared plus 25 times 25 over 2. 25 squared is 625 over 4. And this is 625 over 2. So finding common denominators. This is 1250. And so the answer is going to be 625 over 4. Okay. Now I don't even know if it asked what the maximum was. Did it ask for the maximum? It says just find the two numbers whose product is the maximum. So it didn't really ask for the maximum, but that's if you needed it. What are the two numbers? The two numbers are, well, the first one was 25 over 2. And how do I get the second number? 25 take away 25 over 2. Well, you can figure that out, but it's going to be the same thing, strangely. The two numbers are the same. All right, so there's your first type of quadratic word problem. That's not the most common type. This one is. So let's try that next. All right, now we're going to read this over. Usually, if you would have seen this without a quadratic formula and without knowing that that's how we're supposed to do them, this might be a question that you could guess and check. So just bear with me for a second. I'm going to give you this as an example. I do not want you to use this method because it will not get you the right answer a lot of times, because guess and check will fail to give you the strange answers, the ones that aren't perfect numbers. So let's take a look at what this is saying. It says every week a takeout restaurant sells 2,000 wraps for $1.50 each. So it sells 2,000 for $1.50. What would be the profit? You would make, this is $3,000. Okay, so that's what's happening right now. Usually, we need this information to start off the equation. How do you get profit? How much you sell, how much you charge. Now it says through research, the restaurant determines that for every 10-cent increase, she will sell 100 fewer wraps. So let's take a look at an example. If I increase the price to $1.60, that would mean I would only sell 1,900. Is this a better situation? How much money would I make if I did that? So I'd give you a calculator for this. When we put that in the calculator, you end up with 3,040. And so the question is saying, where do we maximize the revenue? In other words, at what point will we get the biggest profit? So should I go to 170? Should I go to 180? And so we could guess and check and find some answers. The problem is sometimes the answer is in between here. It's not 170 or 180, it's like 175 or something. So this is not the way I want you to do it. But I do want you to understand that to get profit, we're multiplying these two numbers. Okay, so let's try and look at this question a little bit differently. Okay, we're always going to start these questions by saying let x be the number of changes. So in this case, a change is increase in price. Okay, and then here's the key. Y is going to be the revenue, how much money we make. Now the good thing is we already know how to get the revenue. Right? We know that the revenue was, what was it, 2,000 wraps times $1.50. That's how you get the revenue. But we've made changes. What's the change? Well, we're going to add 10 cents to the price of $1.50. But how many times are we going to add this? I don't know. However many changes I'm going to make. That's where my x is. So for example, if I wanted to make one change, 10 cents times 1 would be 10 cents. If I wanted to make 2 changes, it would be 20 cents. If I wanted to make 3 changes, it would be 30 cents. Okay? But every time I make a change to the price, there's also a change to how many people buy. Now this is the way these are always set up. One of them is going to be subtracted, one of them is going to be added. And if you multiply this, you end up with a quadratic equation. So let's just FOIL this. You get 3,000 plus 200x minus 150x minus 10x squared. Normally, you'll get a negative x squared. Because if you want a maximum, we need a parabola that opens down. Okay, so let's rearrange this. So negative 10x squared plus 50x plus 3,000. There is our quadratic. Well, what is the point of doing that? Well, now that we have a quadratic, this is a parabola that opens down. If I find the vertex, this is going to be the number of changes, and it will be the maximum revenue. The max will occur at the vertex. So what I need to do is find the vertex. All right, and again, you could do this a bunch of ways. We could try to find the, complete the square or whatever. I think the easiest way to find the vertex is negative b over 2a. So this is going to be 50 over 20, which is 5 over 2. 2.5. Okay, and if we put that into the equation, we're going to go negative 10 times 2.5. You can even write that out. Negative 10 times 2.5 squared plus 50 times 2.5 plus 3,000. So that equals $3,062.50. So what does the question ask? At what price of the wrap will this maximum revenue occur? Well, is this the price of the wrap? No, that's how many increases. So the price is $1.50 plus 0.10, that's 10 cents, times 2.5. So that's an increase of 25 cents. All right, so the new price is going to be $1.75. Okay, and then what is the max revenue? Max revenue is going to be $3,062.50. All right, I'll stop there. I'll give you some of the homework. Now, you're not going to be able to do some of the word problems. Stick to these two types, and then we'll do the rest of the types in tomorrow's lesson. So the homework is on page 323. You can do numbers 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11. I don't know if they're all possible to do yet. Some of them might not be. If there's an area question, skip that one. All right. What I would also like you to try to do is, there is another question like the one we just did here, the sweatshirt question. Try that one, and then I will do it with you tomorrow.